The chemistry between them was undeniable from the start. That, and the palpable tension caused by their clashing values. Two walking contradictions drawn to each other, and a rare love that could never be. What could be more relatable than an unrequited love? We're talking, of course, about Fleabag and The Priest. In this video, we'll explore the forbidden love story that captivated audiences around the world. We'll dwell into the complexities of their relationship and explore the reasons why it ultimately had to end. So buckle up, grab a drink, and get ready to dive deep into the tumultuous journey of Fleabag and The Priest. Fleabag, portrayed by the majestically charming Phoebe Waller-Bridge, has got a personality as complicated as a Rubik's Cube. Her wit is as sharp as a knife, and her sarcasm is as dry as the Sahara. She's an embodiment of a walking contradiction, sexually liberated but deeply insecure, self-aware but chaotic. If Fleabag were a cocktail, she'd be equal parts cynicism, humor, and vulnerability, with a dash of impulsivity. She's the kind of person who would make you laugh and cry at the same time, and then make you question your sanity for enjoying it. But despite her flaws, you can't help but root for her. Her honesty and vulnerability make her relatable, and her humor makes her endearing. Plus, who hasn't made a bad decision or two in their lives? Fleabag just happens to make them on a grander scale. So all hail Fleabag, a messy, complicated, deeply flawed and relatable character who resonates with audiences because of her raw emotions and authenticity. Some of this intense character's personality traits are witty and sarcastic. Fleabag is known for her quick wit and sarcastic sense of humor, which she uses to deflect from her pain and cope with difficult situations. For example, when she accidentally walks in on her sister and her ex-boyfriend in bed together, she responds with a quip, "Sorry, I thought I heard two meaningless banging against each other." Her humor is often dark and self-deprecating. Sexually liberated. Fleabag is open about her sexuality and enjoys casual sex with various partners. However, her promiscuity is often a symptom of her underlying emotional pain and feelings of loneliness. In one episode, she hooks up with a stranger on a train and has a moment of emotional vulnerability where she confesses that she's trying to escape from her pain. Vulnerable. Despite her tough exterior and sarcastic comebacks, Fleabag is deeply vulnerable and struggles with feelings of self-doubt and insecurity. For example, when she's alone in her apartment, she speaks to the camera, another unique aspect of this series, and admits that she's struggling with the loss of her mother and the breakdown of her relationship with her best friend. The vulnerability she displays draws out empathy from viewers, making the connection with her character stronger. Self-aware. Fleabag is acutely aware of her flaws and shortcomings, and she often breaks the fourth wall to comment on her behavior. This self-awareness allows her to connect with the audience and creates a sense of intimacy. For example, when she's on a date with a man who's not right for her, she looks directly at the camera and says, "This is a bad idea." The self-awareness displayed by her makes this character more authentic and relatable. Chaotic. Fleabag's life is often in a state of chaos, and she struggles to keep everything together. Her relationships with her family and friends are often fraught with tension and conflict, and she's prone to making impulsive and reckless decisions. For example, when her sister invites her to a family dinner, Fleabag shows up in a revealing outfit and proceeds to get drunk and make inappropriate comments. But why is Fleabag like this? Fleabag's personality and behavior can be attributed to several factors, including her upbringing, her relationships, and her inner struggles, like trauma and loss. Fleabag has experienced significant trauma and loss in her life, including the death of her mother and the breakdown of her relationship with her best friend. These experiences have left her feeling emotionally unstable, lonely, insecure, and riddled with self-doubt. Her sarcasm and cynicism are her defensive coping mechanisms to manage this. Dysfunctional family dynamics. Fleabag comes from a dysfunctional family with strained relationships between her and her father and sister. Her family history may be contributed to her feelings of loneliness and disconnection, and her chaotic behavior may be an attempt to assert control over her life. Sexual exploration. Fleabag's sexual promiscuity can be seen as a way of exploring and asserting her desires in a society that often polices women's sexuality. Her openness about her sexuality may also be a way of deflecting her emotional pain and feelings of insecurity. Breakdown of social norms. Fleabag's behavior can also be seen as a reaction to the breakdown of social norms and expectations. She is a young and married damsel, not in distress, living in London, and her behavior challenges traditional expectations of how women should behave. Her sarcasm and defiance may be a way of asserting her own identity and rejecting societal expectations. In Season 2 of the series, we meet another pivotal character, the priest, or should we say the hot priest. This character is effortlessly portrayed by the charismatic Andrew Scott and serves as the romantic interest for the titular character. He explores some contrasting personality traits through which we get to know Fleabag from a mere intimate perspective. The priest is charming and charismatic. The priest has a magnetic personality that draws people to him. He is kind and thoughtful, and his interactions with Fleabag are marked by a sense of warmth and affection. For example, in one scene, he shares a cigarette with her and they talk about their shared experiences of loss and grief. Religious. The priest is deeply committed to his faith and takes his role as a man of the cloth very seriously. He is reflective, often pondering the big questions of life and death. What is interesting is that his faith is not portrayed as rigid or dogmatic, but as him being open to questioning and exploring his benefits. For example, he admits to Fleabag that he sometimes doubts his faith and struggles with feelings of doubt and uncertainty. Playful and mischievous. Despite his religious devotion, the priest is also playful and mischievous, with a sense of humor that contrasts his serious side. He's willing to engage in witty banter with Fleabag, and his interactions with her are marked by a sense of fun and lightheartedness. For example, in one scene, he jokingly teases her about her sexual history, but then reassures her that he doesn't judge her for her past. Compassionate and empathetic. The priest is deeply compassionate and empathetic. He connects with Fleabag on a deep emotional level. He listens to her and validates her feelings, and his presence brings her a sense of comfort and peace. For example, when Fleabag confesses to him a past mistake that haunts her, he responds with kindness and forgiveness, reassuring her that she is not defined by her mistakes. Human and flawed. The priest is a fan of God, but not a god himself. Naturally, like all characters in the show, the priest is flawed with his doubts and insecurities. He's not portrayed as a perfect or infallible figure, but rather as a complex and multifaceted individual. For example, he struggles with feelings of temptation and desire toward Fleabag, and he grapples with the conflict between his faith and his feelings for her. From the moment they meet, there's a certain frisson between them. He's a man of God. She's a woman of, well, let's just say she's got a colorful vocabulary. But as their relationship develops, it becomes clear that they share a deeper connection than just witty banter and flirty glances. Fleabag sees in the priest as a man who could offer her solace and comfort. Plus, he's got that whole sacred and forbidden thing going on for him. As Fleabag's feelings for the priest intensify, her inner monologue becomes more and more absurd. "Oh, priest, take me to church," she muses, "or at least take me to bed." But alas, she knows deep down that their relationship can never be what she wants it to be. It turns out to be a complex and nuanced portrayal of forbidden love and the clashing of opposing values. From the outset, it is clear that their attraction to one another is complicated by their vastly different worldviews and lifestyles. On one hand, Fleabag is a young, promiscuous woman living in London who has a cynical and somewhat nihilistic outlook on life. On the other hand, the priest is deeply committed to his faith and his calling, his devotion to God, and takes this very seriously. Their opposing values are a source of tension and conflict throughout the series, and their relationship is marked by a sense of danger and taboo. Fleabag is initially drawn to the priest's warmth and compassion, and she sees in him a potential escape from her pain, emotional voidness, and loneliness. However, as their relationship develops, it becomes clear that their differences are insurmountable. The priest's commitment to his faith and his calling means that he is unable to fully reciprocate Fleabag's feelings. He grapples with feelings of temptation and desire at crossroads, having to choose between his love for Fleabag and his love for God. Ultimately, he chooses God and his faith as his first love, despite acknowledging that he loves this woman too. Meanwhile, Fleabag struggles to reconcile her feelings for the priest with her own self-destructive tendencies and her cynicism about love and relationships. This portrayal is a reminder that love is not always straightforward, and that it often involves navigating conflicting desires and values. Ultimately, the relationship between Fleabag and the priest serves as a poignant commentary on the fragility of human relationships and the complexities of the human heart. It's also a testament to the power of human connection, even when it's not quite what we expect it to be. Despite the pain of unrequited love, Fleabag and the priest share a bond that is both sweet and poignant. They recognize each other's flaws and vulnerabilities and can be their true selves with each other, even if that means sharing a cigarette in the rain or indulging in some light vandalism. The chemistry of this dynamic duo has us on the edge of our seats through the entire season, drawing us in as their complicated relationship developed with interactions that were both hilarious and heart-wrenching. So what do you think of them? What do you like the most about the series? Tell us in the comment section, we'd love to hear. We hope this video provided insight and a deeper appreciation for the complexity of the characters in the show, and the themes it explored. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, here's to peace, and those who get in the way of it. Thanks for watching.